Hey YouTubers, Grimmy Dragon here, and it's review time once again, and we're taking a look at something new today. That's right, we're going to be starting to look at the Titans Return figures, starting with Scourge. So, looking at Scourge here, it's nice to see the old space shoe is back. I like that. And he does pretty much look a lot like his G1 self. The general shape is very reminiscent of the old sweep, with a little modern updates like these little fins here, and they move the thrusters in a little bit. Now if I just take the gun off for a moment, yeah, you can store guns right on top, which is pretty good. See, he has a nice Decepticon symbol painted in, and the paint apps on the spaceship mode is actually pretty good. You got some blue on the front, got a darker shade of blue on the, like in the middle, and even the rest of the ship is pretty much molded in a light blue plastic. So yeah, very nice variances with the blue color. And yeah, also nice to see the little, this thing is back, and it's a removable piece, much like the G1 toy. So that's pretty nice. Looking at the underside, yeah, these flaps are kind of unfortunate the way they were worked, but at least Hasbro had the sense to mold in guns at the bottom, and 4 guns on a fighting robot is good. Unfortunately, seeing the rest of the robot on the bottom is not so good. But, you know, what can you do? That's been kind of a thing for G1 jets, or, well, transforming jets for a long time, so not that surprising. Now, if we take, that's actually tight, which is good. It's kind of hard to open sometimes. If you take open that up, we can get a look at Fracas, who's this tiny little dude. And I mean really tiny. So we can we'll get him back here. Zoom in. Try to keep him in frame. There we go. Yeah, he's a tiny little guy, but not bad on the paint. Only has some lighter blue on his legs and a little paint on his face. But yeah, it's enough to really make him look good. I like the way they got his eyes. I thought that was cool. Articulation wise, he has a ball jointed head, which ironically gives Scourge a ball jointed head. He has forward, backward, and the arms, which are ball jointed, so you got a little bit of in and out. And he's got, well, a leg joint, forward, backward, and a knee. The bottom legs are molded together, so they're not going to come apart. It's unfortunate, but, you know, that's how it goes. So, let's just get a quick size comparison. We'll first put him next to a G1 Headmaster. And that will be the only Headmaster I have. Well, one of the only 2 Headmasters I have. Stylor. He's easier to get to than Spike, so yeah. As you can see, Fracas is a lot smaller than your G1 Headmaster. And I would bet he's smaller than the Headmaster Juniors, which I don't have, but I know of. We'll also bring in Firebolt, a Target Master. Again, significantly smaller. We'll bring in Arcana from Generations Brainstorm. And still a little smaller than even Arcana, so that's pretty impressive. And let's see, anybody else I want to put them with? No, just for the fun of it, we'll bring in a third-party headmaster from, like, Head Robot's Hothead. And yeah, obviously a little smaller than Hothead. But yeah, I mean, it's a tiny little robot. Now he does have little peg holes on the bottom of the feet. And if you look in Scourge, he has 4 pegs along his vehicle mode, which you can just provided I can find a good one. Yeah, he has a couple at the front. Thought he had some in the back, but obviously not. There we go. Yeah, so you can actually peg onto the front of the ship. Also, the gun actually has a seat. You can sit Scourge into, like sit Fracas into, sorry. This little notchy thing that is used for balance also is used to lock the figures into the seats, which is a nice touch. And if you want, since there is a peg, you can also put the other gun in there, give him a little turret to work with, which is pretty cool. I do like the playability. But we'll put that to the side for now. Because we do need to do some comparisons. Now first we're going to bring in United Scourge, it's a Takara version. And you could see there is a significant difference between the two. This one's more like a flying wing than this one's flying shoe. And we'll also bring in the Generations version. And yeah, I mean, for vehicle mode, Titan Master's Scourge is definitely a bit more G1 feeling than the newer, like the Generations versions. Not so newer, the older ones. But yeah. We'll also bring in, well, first we'll bring in Universe 2.0 Cyclonus. This is actually the Battle in Space version. As you can see, those two go kind of well together. And we'll also bring in Combiner Wars Cyclonus, aka the super big one. And those two work together quite well as well. So if you got Combiner Wars Cyclonus, you have a buddy for him. And with Galvatron coming out in this line, probably in stores now, I haven't managed to get a hold of Galvatron, unfortunately. Yeah, you get quite a bit. Also, a nice feature, and I'll show this off right now. You can just turn fracas into the head. Lift this little doobab up in there, and if you want to recreate that one scene from the movie, you can just pop Scourge's head in, and boom. You want me to cut Ultra Magnus for you? Yeah, you can actually do that. That was a nice touch. But that will set it up for vehicle mode. So let's get him into robot mode and see how he looks there. Okay, so looking at Scourge, at first I was actually a little let down by the paint job or lack of paint. But after getting a good look at Sabertron.com, I can see that Hasbro is kind of going for a toy look on this one. He's actually pretty accurate to the G1 toy. Most of the colors are spot on to that. The original toy didn't have a lot of paint on it either, so. But I do like that they actually went through the trouble to tampo the decals from the G1 toy onto this guy. Thought that was a nice touch. You got the tampo on the chest and on the thighs. Oh, not thighs, the shins. Yeah, my mistake. But yeah, all the tampo graphing is there. And it's quite accurate. I mean, the only inaccuracy is that the thighs should be more of the light blue color. But other than that, it's spot on. That said, I think I would have preferred the Takara's approach where they were trying for animation model accuracy. But that's a personal quirk. This version of Scourge pretty much does work, and if I do manage to get that Takara version, this will make an excellent sweep. And that said, let's get a look at what we have for articulation. Now we do have a ball jointed head, thanks to Fracas's ball jointed head. Connection on Scourge is a little wobbly, so he does have that bobblehead feel to him, unfortunately. It's not too bad, but it's there. He has ball jointed shoulders. The transformation hinge actually increases the outward motion quite a bit, so that's good. He has a hinged elbow, 90 degrees, a bicep swivel, but no wrist swivel, I'm sorry. My tongue is not working right today. No waist, unfortunate, it's just how it goes. But you do have universal hips, a little clicky, like a little detent in the thighs, which is good. You got a thigh swivel, or detent outward, I mean, okay. But you got forward back, thigh swivel, a little less than 90 at the knee, and you can move the toe, and you can actually push the toe up, so you can get a nice walking pose out of him, which is pretty good. So I do like that. For weapons, you do have the double-barreled blaster, and you can actually take the little head bomb thing and make it into a smaller gun. So that's pretty cool. And if you wanted to, you could also combine the two guns into a bigger blaster. Actually, let's see. And that works, actually. That kind of works better because fills in the gap on that big gun a lot better. So yeah, I do like that. Now, if you're like me and got some of those master shooter collectible target masters, I got ones for the for Blur, Cup, Hot Rod, and Scourge here, and you happen to have Broomstick like this guy right here, he is compatible with Scourge. Fits in just fine. So yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. So let's get some comparisons out of the way. Of course, we're going to have to compare them with the Generation slash United Scourges. As you can see, there is some significant differences between these three. In this respect, I kind of still prefer the United Scourge, just because of the color layouts. But this new one is still really good and um, highly recommendable. So that's, I see some improvement, but I do see some points where the older version is a little better. So yeah, take it as you'd like. And of course, we gotta get some Cyclonus comparisons. Here he is with the Challenge at Cybertron or Battle in Space Cyclonus, and these two do go together pretty well. Um, so yeah, that works. I like that. And of course, let's get the Combiner Wars Cyclonus in here, since if you just started collecting, this is probably the one you have. He's a bit big, but he does seem to go well with Scourge. So there's plenty of options. And let's get that Challenge at Cybertron Galvatron in here. We'll get Cyclonus out of the way for a moment. And yeah, I can't wait to get a hold of that Voyager Galvatron, because this one's not so great, but all in all, they do go together quite well. So yeah, there's that. Okay, so that'll wrap things up for Scourge. Really nice figure. I do like it. Colors are a little bland, but that's something you'd expect from Hasbro these days. I'm looking forward to the Takara version, which seems to have a better color scheme to him. But I don't know if I'll be able to get it. In any case, this Scourge is fine, and I can live with it. But anyway, I'll hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you next time. So, goodbye out there, whatever you are.